All right, so last night we had the 6th Democratic debates in Los Angeles, California. It was a lot better than usual with just 7 candidates. Still not optimal, but way better than when we had 10 people on stage. I mean, what a mess. Nonetheless, half the people that were on that stage last night shouldn't be there. Okay, so let's get it down to 3 people, 2 people, then we're talking. With that said, we had some good moments. All right. Bernie Sanders shitted on Pete Buttigieg and Handsy Uncle Joseph, Sleepy Joe, Malarkey Corn Pop, whatever you want to call him. That was dope. And Bernie Sanders actually posted it on his own YouTube channel because it was such a fine moment. Let's take a look.
I am rather proud, maybe, I don't know, the only candidate up here doesn't have any billionaire contributions. But you know what I do have? We have received more contributions from more individuals than any candidate in the history of the United States of America at this point in an election, averaging $18 apiece. Now, there's a real competition going on up here. My good friend Joe, and he is a good friend, he's received contributions from 44 billionaires. Pete, on the other hand, is trailing. Pete, you only got 39 billionaires contributing. So, Pete, we look forward to you. I know you're an energetic guy and a competitive guy to see if you can take on Joe on that issue. But what is not a laughing matter, my friends, this is why 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half. This is why Amazon and other major corporations pay 0 in federal taxes. We need to get money out of politics. We should run our campaigns on that basis.
Now that's what I'm talking about. All right. So we keep saying this after every debate that Bernie isn't tough enough on his opponents. This was a bit better. He's getting there, you know. I wish he dropped the Joe Biden is a good friend of mine. Okay, I wish he dropped that line. You don't need to call them your good friends. They're not our good friends. They're class traitors, all right? These are the enemy of the people. You know, he's right, man. This is the most grassroots funded campaign in history. Okay, Bernie Sanders reached 1 million individual donors faster than any campaign in history. Faster than Hillary, faster than Obama. Incredible. Let that sink in. And as we said before, he's got more money than all these other candidates, and it's all grassroots. None of it comes from billionaire donors. None of it comes from corporations. All right? And Bernie Sanders is the only one who has real transformative policy to get corporate money and corrupt money out of politics. All right? If he's the nominee, he's going to ban the DNC itself from taking corporate donations, which are unlimited in the general. So we have a true fighter right here. Okay, this is a true champion of the people. And it's really funny when he said Joe Biden has 44 billionaire donors. Joe Biden made that face like, I do? I have 44 billionaire donors and I still got less money than all of them? Joe Biden's been doing terrible, right? He's doing all these closed door private fundraisers and he's still coming up short, man. He's still coming up short. Turns out it doesn't pay to be a corrupt sack of turds, all right? Best go with the people. Turns out they're more than happy to donate to your campaign when you actually represent them. So that was a great line how he took a jab at Buttigieg. Like, oh yeah, you're a competitive, smart guy. You know, maybe you can catch up to Joe Biden. I think at one point, Buttigieg had more than anyone else. I didn't know that Joe Biden overtook him. So thank you, Bernie, for updating us on that. It looks like Pete Buttigieg has some catching up to do with the Wall Street types. That wine cave thing he did, Elizabeth Warren took a jab at him. We'll get to that in a bit. But as Bernie Sanders said, and I don't know if it went over people's heads, but he's literally saying the reason you have 3 people owning more wealth than the bottom half is because of these corrupt sacks of shit standing next to me. It's because they have billionaire donors, because the billionaires are buying the legal system, they're buying the elections, they're buying the entire political apparatus with these sacks of shit. Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg and others like them. They're bribing them to keep the status quo. So I don't know. I think he put it very politely that it went over people's heads, but that's what he's saying to you. All right. So that was a good moment. Bernie Sanders, I know you're not watching, but I know you can hear me. Please go harder. You need to ice these fools. Okay. You need to ice them. Get rid of them. Dead their careers, man. Dead their candidacies. Wipe them off the face of this election. All right? You can do it. You have the moral high ground. You have it. It's yours. Use it. Let's see. Let's see if Bernie gets more vicious with the attacks. Hopefully he will. Hopefully he will as time goes on, as the field thins, as we're left with less candidates on stage. Maybe then, hopefully then, I hope his advisors are going to tell him to, put the final nail in the coffin for some of these candidates. But that was definitely one of the highlights of the debate. It's good. You have to point out their corruption. You have to name them and shame them in front of the nation on national television. You have to do it. You have to tell them who these people represent, that they're not here to represent you. They're here to represent the corporations and their donors. All right? That's what they're here for. You need to tell people that. So good job on that, Bernie. Good job.